Hello, welcome back to the back garden at the LP Dimension, in the LP Dimension. It's just I didn't finish my video from yesterday regarding transplanting my tomato starts. So here's what I got done yesterday. But first I'll say I told myself and other people that I was going to have a plan this year. I must have a plan for my garden, and I must stick to that plan. Well, I didn't really complete a plan, but I'm doing stuff. Like making a plan on the spot to follow. Just saying. I am referring back to the notes I took last year, though, about what I wasn't going to do. Last year I grew all peppers in this bed and a massive nasturtium at the end. This year I'm going to grow tomatoes. I was going to do all tomatoes. This is what I call bed B. I was going to do all tomatoes. But now I'm thinking, I got a confession. My confession is that I really didn't care too much about watermelon. I mean, I like watermelon, but watermelon is not very versatile in terms of preservation. But, Broke Farmer and David Corey with the Croppa got to talking all this smack about the watermelon wars and, oh, David's the king and blah, 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 blah. And I just thought, this is some... I'm gonna join. So if you've seen my other videos, you know that I've joined the watermelon wars, and I'm definitely going to be in the running to be the queen, snatch that crown off of David's head. But anyways, so that changed my plans a little bit, and I'm actually figuring it out. I'm going to grow watermelons on the end of these beds. And you know what? Stay tuned, because this week I'm supposed to receive my soil test results. And I was testing for the composition of some possible contaminants that I found in my soil. I do not have a piece nearby. But I've long since, for probably 9 years, wanted to know what is in my native soil. It's not back here in the back garden, so just a little background. These beds, there's a cat running around in my yard somewhere. I hear his little bell. They actually go down 6 inches into this pea gravel. So these beds are 12 inches. That bed and that bed are actually 16 inches. And they have stainless steel hardware cloth. There's that cat. He better not pee on my stuff. Stainless steel hardware cloth underneath, because I didn't want to deal with the chipmunks. And I did do the hugelkultur method. There are branches and old logs underneath there. There's also landscape fabric, because I was trying not to make direct contact with the soil because it's questionable. However, back here I've discovered since then that I have not actually found this slag. Hold on. That's it. See that? And this. This is called slag. It is a byproduct of metal smelting. Ignore the little red mites running all over it. Yeah, I found that in my soil. So this is the front of my backyard. Look at all this stuff. Yay. This is a total mess up here, but it's gonna get figured out. So I found that what I just showed you, that slag, all up here, all around here. These 3 beds have boards on the bottom. They're not solid, because that was just way too much lumber and also too heavy. But I don't know what that stuff is. I've tried to hit it with a magnet. No, I'm sorry. Rewind. I have touched it with a magnet, and it is not magnetic. Hopefully it's not like lead. So I don't plant in my soil. I don't plant edibles in my soil, except for my stone fruit tree, which was a fruit cocktail tree, and my apple tree. But honestly, I've been afraid to eat those fruits because I'm a weird, anxious person like that. I did eat apricots. It was the first time the tree ever actually grew apricots, so I couldn't not eat some last year. Anyways, so that's why I don't grow. Look at my sage is flowering. That's why I don't grow directly in my soil. But what's up, squirrel? Yeah, I saw you coming down the tree. You didn't expect me, huh? Yeah. You where you headed with that nut? Are you gonna bury it in that pot with the iris? Faker. You were headed over here, weren't you? Alright. So that's why I don't grow in my native soil, because of that slag. But the saga is, I want to say, finally coming to an end, because I'm going to hold out hope that the results are going to be good. That they're not going to find... Yeah, just wait till I get the weed whacker out. So, I take care of that area over there. It'll be more mine and less yours. Oh. What's that? Did you say something? That's right. Run. Run away. I really should probably start covering this bed, because I know what's going to happen. What's going to happen is I'm going to call myself watching my strawberries and keeping an eye on them and protecting them and keeping them safe, little baby little strawberries. Oh. And then I'm going to look up and I'm going to get distracted, and I'm going to forget that they're uncovered. I'm going to come out here, somebody's going to eat them. I just know it. Anyways, that's why I'm not growing in my native soil, but I'm getting the results back this week, is what I'm told. I had to send it to the Michigan State University veterinary lab, because they're the only ones who apparently test for soil contaminants, a toxicology report. And when those come back that my soil is clear, then game on, because that means I can plant in ground and not be all paranoid about the weird stuff that's in my soil. So this was where my stone fruit tree was last year. It took me all day to dig it up, and I never did fill the hole back in. But you can actually see, let's see here. See that? That's more pieces of it. More pieces of it, of the slag. So it's all up here, but it's not in the back. I did not find it when I moved the tree. Yeah, see, and some of them are huge pieces. Look at these beautiful irises. This is a smoke bush. Really pretty leaves, huh? But man, this thing grows out of control. But yeah, anywho, so if I can grow, when I get these results back and they say I'm good and I can grow in ground, I don't know. You might really start shaking in your boots even more. Like that, see? Growl. Growl. That's me when I start planting watermelon in ground. But, okay, let's get back on track. Lovely little hoop house. It's not what we're out here for, but I'm really so very happy to protect my broccoli. Ah, so easily distracted. I never did post a video about my turnips and radishes not forming heads, but they're not. I did thin them out. All right, it's craziness back here, but I'm just getting my toe back, my foot back from having broken my toe. So I got a lot to catch up on. All this right now is just chaos, but it'll be cool. Anyways, whole point to this video was to talk about what I did yesterday, but I couldn't help but share with you about my soil saga because, oh man, I pray to God that it's just cool. I think it's going to be fun to nerd out too on the composition. I sent in a soil sample from back here. I also sent in a soil sample from up there, and I sent in a chunk of the actual slag. So, anywho, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 tomatoes transplanted. I've got a lot more. Still trying to figure out where they're gonna go. This guy, when I up potted it and its sibling got marked, but it didn't. I think I have a picture somewhere, so I know but don't know what that is. This is an azoica. It's a yellow tomato. I believe it is a Russian tomato. Grown it before. It's got a nice taste. At least one of them had a good shelf life. It was grown in the back there. It wasn't very happy back there. So it wasn't very productive. So I want to give it another chance. Pineapple tomato. Grown this a couple times. It's a yellow tomato. It's yellow with some like red streaking, and it's a really delicious tomato. And same thing, I want to see if it won't be more productive up here. Transplanted some Moss Rose. One of them got dug up by something last night. Just now transplanted some zinnia over here. This is what I call my worm castings tomato, and this is the first time I've ever grown my tomatoes in crazy garlic like this. I think it'll be a fun experiment. I think it'll work out because even though the garlic probably won't be harvested till July, mid-July, you all know these tomatoes are gonna... The worm castings tomato, I've called that, is because several years ago I grew some a tomato volunteer that came out of my worm castings, and it was a red grape tomato. I really liked it, and I wanted to keep growing it, so I saved seeds and I've been growing it ever since. The last couple of years it hasn't been as delicious, but we'll see this year. This is a dark orange muscat. It's my first time growing this. I know I need to stake this up. I know it being on the ground like this. I did bury them all deep because I want them to form a stronger root base. So I probably will also go ahead and snip that leaf off. Dark orange muscat. It's a cherry tomato. First time growing it. I've got 2 of those. This is a black cherry tomato. Go ahead and take that leaf off. I grew this for the first time last year, and It was my fault, but it didn't grow very well. I think I got one tomato off of it, and that was like, oh, this is good, but I don't have anything else to compare it to. So here's some nasturtium volunteers. Definitely want to save them because that plant was awesome last year. The colors of the flowers, I don't know if it was one plant or multiple, but it kind of took over, so they can't all stay, but I want to keep them. I also sowed some, of course my neighbor's got to mow. Somebody is, so I'll try to hurry this up. This is turning into a tour, and I don't mean for it to be. So we won't talk about things that are already there. Here, where all this is disturbed, is because I planted phenomenal cowpeas. I grew them for the first time last year. Teresa over at Old Ways Gardening and Prepping. Go check her out. Very, very smart, knowledgeable woman. She's an herbalist. Won actually a bag on her birthday giveaway last year, a year before, and she sent me some seeds, and yeah, they were phenomenal cowpeas. That's what they're called, and dang, I love them. So I saved seeds, and I'm growing more this year. Thank you, Teresa. I am growing the other worm castings tomato at the back of this bed because I want to see how it does in a spot that gets a little bit more shade. And if it does well, then you bet your skivvies I'm going to save them seeds. Okay, I also planted a green zebra tomato. First time growing that. That could be a green zebra tomato. And another dark orange muscat. Now, I wasn't originally going to plant tomatoes here, but I probably will go ahead and plant a couple more tomatoes over here. And we'll do most likely watermelon down there, watermelon at the back of that bed, and over there. Okay. And then I'm thinking I'll do my okra here, and I tried growing hearts of gold cantaloupe in here before, but there was too much other stuff going on here, and I had tomatoes over here, so it got shaded. But I am going to give it a shot again this year and go ahead and trellis it. Obviously I got to fill that bag with some more compost and some goodness. But yeah, we're going to do that cantaloupe over here. So, oh, here's the trick. It's 7:14 right now, obviously in the evening. You see we're in shade. The sun is not down. The sun doesn't actually set until 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So my back here, I get at least 6 hours, but depending on the bed, the other side of the garden gets sun earlier and shade earlier. By 4:30, we got shade over there. That whole fence line, shade. Back here, the sun stays a little bit longer. But, yeah. If that neighbor ever decides to cut that hickory tree, then it'll be game on. We'll have even more sun, but why are we talking about that? So, total squirrel brain. Yeah, so I think I'm gonna do some melon back here instead of more tomatoes, and then we'll do the okra over here. So what I was saying, just in all transparency, which is going to make it that much cooler when I, win watermelon wars, or I'm at least going to be in the top 5, okay, is that to show you how well you can grow a watermelon in a raised bed, but also without a million hours of sun. So, and that's also just being transparent about the conditions that I'm dealing with here, and why I don't practice crop rotation in the way that you understand it. Sure, I keep it in mind. I try to move stuff around. Excuse me. But I can't just grow tomatoes or okra or peppers in all of these beds. They'll grow, they'll survive, but in terms of production, they won't produce as well. I grew indigo rose tomato here one year. Oh, we're back. Another bald-faced hornet. I wonder where their nest is. Hopefully it's not in my yard. Not that I wish it on anybody else, but yeah. That's because it's not wet. I know it's not as fun to chew. It went away and it's come back. Anyways, I grew an indigo rose tomato here 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. And it grew and it produced. However, the tomatoes never got to that deep purple. And that's because if you know, or if you don't know, really purple tomatoes, they achieve that color most especially when they receive direct sunlight. If you don't get that direct sunlight, you don't get the purple. And that's what I experienced. The part of the tomato that got the most sun was the part of the tomato that got purple. And I didn't care for that tomato at all. It was a really pretty plant. The actual plant itself was purple and had a really sturdy, thick stem. And like overall, it was a strong plant. However, the fruit, it did not have very good flavor at all. It was pretty dang bland. And I can't even just blame it on my conditions, because I read a lot of reviews from other people stating that they didn't enjoy the indigo rose tomato. If you had a different experience, I would love to hear about it. But yeah, so just saying, growing tomato here is not the way to go. I am trying to figure out what I am going to grow here. I know I'm going to put pole beans here. Thought I had figured out what I was going to grow here. Anywho, so we'll put a couple more tomatoes over here. But that's what we've got today. And for people who are buying burdock seeds, I wish I could just like let you shop in my yard, because this is burdock. And she is the queen of my yard. Oh my god, there's so much burdock. This is pokeweed. Creeping Charlie. Well, let me help you out. Understand. So there's a construction zone back here. Burdock. This plant is 3 feet tall. Isn't that amazing? I'm not going to let her grow. They took over this whole space last year, and I let them go to flower. They were at least 4 feet high, and the pollinators, the bees, absolutely loved their flowers. I mean, these plants were just covered. And someone around here must have honeybees, or there's a honeybee nest, because I had loads of honeybees on them. But yeah, so burdock. If you've never grown burdock, She's a beast. Anywho, there's the 2 zinnia I put in. I'm debating where to, because these zinnia get really tall. And I can put them here because what I'm growing over here is tall. And last year, was it? Last year I grew zinnia on the edge of this bed. And that was cool. I said I wasn't going to do it again though, because it gets really tall and it like leans over into this walkway. But I'm thinking, no, I won't grow it there. Anyways, I'm all over the place. So that's what we got going on right now. I probably will put these 2 zinnia. Let's see, something came. I planted this dang moss rose. Something came and was like, oh, let me do you a favor and dig it up. We'll see if it survives. Good luck. But, yep. So, I'll put a zinnia here and a zinnia here. Alright. Cool. So, that's what we got growing on. That's part of what we got growing on here. Stay tuned because I get my soil results this week, and that's a really big deal for me. So, and also watch this space transform. It's wild as heck right now. I mean, for real. There's a lot. I got way too much pea stone last year, so I wound up just having to move it back here. But that's all got to be dealt with, and it will. Trust me. I got it back here. 2 of us moved 16 yards. Some of it's up front. Moved 16 cubic yards of pea gravel with wheelbarrows. Yes. Beast action over here. I still haven't posted my video about my my scapes. I don't really like that the leaves are doing this. But I've got garlic scapes. If you don't know, you can eat these. And I believe it's within 3 weeks or so after you cut the scapes off that you harvest the garlic. Yeah, see, that's not a good sign. But I'll let them grow, another, I don't know, 6 inches or so. They'll make a complete curl. See how this one's starting to curl? And then I'll cut them off, and then you can eat them just like you would garlic. They look really pretty. So, yeah. Cool beans. Yes, I said cool beans. Thanks for stopping by. I'd appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And if you want to hear about my soil test results, soil contaminants is not just your average soil test. I had a legitimate reason. I showed you. If you missed it, go back earlier in the video and check out the slag. Let me know if you've seen that before. I guess back in the day it was pretty common for people to just fill their lots, their yards, in with whatever they could fill it with. And that's what they did here. So hopefully that's not going to be a problem for me. But yeah, if you want to follow along, please do. And I'd love to hear what you think. And if you know anything about any of this, in the comments. Have a great day. Have a great week. I wish you well. And take care. Bye for now.